Welcome to the Scaling Japan podcast. I'm your host, Tyson Bettino, and we talk all about scaling your company in Japan, whether it's marketing, sales, setting up a company, hiring staff, anything you need to start growing your company in Japan. For today's episode, we have Ignacio Dávalos, a Tokyo-based digital marketing leader with over 18 years of experience in B2B performance marketing. And in today's episode, we'll dive into how LinkedIn advertising really works in Japan and explore how it compares to Western markets, discuss key localization tips, and discover how to run high converting B2B campaigns that align with Japan's business culture. And Ignacio, it's great to have you on. And yeah, please introduce yourself.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation, Tyson. Hi, everyone. My name is Ignacio Dávalos. I'm the Content Strategy Director at MB2B, a custom media company in Tokyo, where I lead multi-channel strategies that connect creativity, data, and technology to help brands grow. About my background, I spent over a decade in both B2B and B2C marketing, working with global companies and local companies in Japan, like Gengo as a startup for localization, Lionbridge, that is a top global localization company, L'Oreal, and NetSuite companies. So I worn many hats, from running SEO campaigns and paid campaigns to build automation flows and full funnel content strategies. At AIM B2B, my focus is turning data-driven insights into engaging storytelling, designing marketing programs that not only attract audiences, also convert them into long-term
Mhm.
partners. That means that managing everything from line ads and LinkedIn campaign, have meetings with the clients, analyze how to localize their content in the Japanese market, and guide them into the different paths for to convert. We also are HubSpot partners at MB2B, so we work with the client CRM integrations and how to connect with these paid platforms like LinkedIn or Line.
Excellent. And we'll be doing, for the listeners, we're doing two episodes together. We'll focus on LinkedIn today, and we're going to focus online in the next episode. So please
Yes.
look out for that as well. Cool. So I think we can start with just a general information on LinkedIn in Japan. But I guess my first question is, how many users are there in Japan now?
Okay, so nowadays are 4.5 million users, but this number is growing really, really fast lately for many reasons. There are more companies adopting LinkedIn, the LinkedIn solution for employer brand and marketing. The companies are encouraging employees to update their profiles, to have a presence in this platform. Uh,
Mm.
Also, foreigner companies with Japan operation are strengthening ties with headquarters. So Japanese firms are exploding and exploring LinkedIn to enhance collaboration with overseas teams, right? They have to speak like to be bilingual, to talk with their C-level executives in other countries. There's a pressure also to increase overseas revenue with the weak yen here in Japan and slugging domestic demand. The motivation to go after overseas market is rising fast.
And yeah,
Uh,
we get a lot of those inquiries too. Like, we're thinking about the Japan market. Does our service match there? But we need to increase revenue.
exactly. Also, the generative AI boom, like more people are tracking the latest technology information, and often is in English language. So everybody goes to LinkedIn to check about what's going on with OpenAI, Claude, or any LLM platforms. So another reason is that the lifetime employment here in Japan is think of the past, right? Like Years ago, people start in a company and they retire in the same company. But nowadays, the generation, the new generation, they are thinking about to work globally. Domestic careers options may seem limited, so they are looking for global opportunities, and LinkedIn is like it's a great window to apply for those opportunities. That's why the amount of account is growing so fast right now.
Yeah, no, it's I'm very big. I would say LinkedIn is one of our top three channels. And our target is more of the foreign market. But for Smart Start Japan, where we set up companies, I post about twice a week. And for my revenue growth, scaling your company, I do about one post a week. And we're also launching a marketplace where you can buy software with a lifetime deal with AI Market. And my full-time employee, he's going to post probably once to twice a week with AI news. But LinkedIn has worked really good for us with Smart Start Japan and scaling your company. And so we'll have two people, maybe even three people posting for each brand weekly.
That's great. That's great. And also to analyze the moment to post, right? Sometimes it's good during the if you analyze the Japanese market, how to post or which time to post, you know that from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. is the commute. All the salarymen are in the train,
Gotcha.
checking line. So line is or playing some games like, but line in that time is the let's say the first platform. But then they arrive to the office and things change. You are in front of a desktop, you open your email, and you go to do different things. So between 10 to 12, it's a good time for LinkedIn to post based on what you want to promote, right? So it's important to analyze the times during the day.
Cool. That's a really good insight. And so I guess in terms of like who uses LinkedIn in Japan. So I think well maybe yeah, like what foreigners use or I guess global oriented users use LinkedIn in Japan.
Okay, so foreign global-oriented users connected in Japan are like the expatriates and bilingual professional living in Japan. Also, foreign or global headquarters companies here in Japan. Like you also have a big size of recruiter, headhunters, talent acquisition. You know, LinkedIn started as a job board
Mm,
years
yes.
ago, and start changing into a like a robust B2B platform. So also sales and business development people are using LinkedIn a lot. People working in international roles. The main thing to understand LinkedIn is that it's a platform that connect the whole market, right? You work from Japan, but you can see Japanese companies posting not only in Japanese, they post in English some of their
Mm,
post because they want to attract other markets. They want to have a presence in other markets. So it's not something that like Kibishi's really Japanese thing to work. It's more like you have to adapt and to which you want whom you want to show that message. So it's not something weird to see like really important like global companies based in Japan that they post in English and they share content in English. Is something that years ago it was weird to see, right?
yeah, no, that is very
And
interesting.
and the Japanese is for the Japanese audience, they are more like human resources, talent, recruitment, mid to senior professionals, IT, engineering, product, marketing, all like everybody's checking all this, like the news about the technology, and it's like a great book of information, LinkedIn, not
Because
just
I think
content.
you mentioned that Japanese people are checking LinkedIn because they really want to know like what's cutting edge,
Correct.
like the leading information, right?
Exactly. If you see, like, let's say 90% of the information, like the updates from OpenAI, the partnership with OpenAI, etc., are in English. Then of course it's translated into Japanese, but the companies that are in the vanguard nowadays are the American ones, right? So we are following on that. For example, in a startup, like people that goes to LinkedIn, Japanese people that goes from a startup, some of their investors are not only Japanese companies, so they are like abroad, so they need to update content to be
Mm.
like checking information from other markets. And also
Oh,
younger professionals nowadays, younger generations in Japan, they speak more and more English, and they are interested in more global things, that like they want a flexible career path. They don't want to be like just square in one thing, like I will work for this company all my life. Another important thing is that leading firms like Fujitsu, Mazda, or Shiseido, they have agreements with LinkedIn and they post case studies, right? So you can go to LinkedIn and you can read a case study about Shiseido, a global case study. So that is something from a Japanese brand that is expanding. So it's the importance of LinkedIn is growing every day.
no, that's an interesting change that Japanese companies are finding Japanese employees through LinkedIn.
Yes, yes, yes. Recruitment in LinkedIn is savage.
So I guess what are some of the competitors to LinkedIn in Japan?
Okay, from if we analyze from a recruitment like a point of view, you have different companies that can be like competitors of LinkedIn. As I said, LinkedIn is like a more a global platform, but you have different actors that compete with LinkedIn. For example, Wantedly is a social recruitment platform that is popular among the startup and technology companies. And you have also Eight by Sansan, that this company started as a Meishi, like a
Yeah, exchange
business
app.
card, digital business card, and evolved into a professional network platform. So now it's more like connecting people via the platform. So Eight is also a competitor in a way for LinkedIn. Then you have, of course, all those like recruitment companies like BizReach is a premium career and recruitment platform. And you can you can say that a competitor for LinkedIn could be Work Circle. Work Circle that it serves like for Japanese professional and enable them to share access workplace information. And Work Circle does this through anonymous community discussions. That you in other markets you have these platforms, right? But in Japan, this Work Circle, you share information about your company. It's anonymous, right? So you can help someone to take decisions about which company they want to work, etc. And it's not just a networking company; it's
Mm,
more
yeah,
like sharing information.
because I think it's cool because they do require you to log in with your business email.
Correct.
And so like you need your, if you work for Google, google.com or amazon.com. And so it's anonymous, but the people are, let's say, filtered.
Exactly.
Okay, next, let's talk about let's dive a little bit deeper into how LinkedIn is used in Japan. But yeah, let's talk a little bit more about branding and advertising. Before we dive in, I wanted to thank today's sponsor, AIM B2B, and recommend them for anyone entering or expanding in Asia's intricate B2B market. AIM B2B is Tokyo's leading integrated marketing and PR agency. Since 2008, they've helped global brands thrive across Japan and APAC through intelligent strategies, data-driven implementation, and cultural expertise. Their proven adapt, implement, maximize framework builds trust through localized storytelling and drives measurable growth through strategic performance marketing.
They're HubSpot certified, seasoned in account-based marketing, paid media, GEO, SEO, and more. Ready to expand? That's aim B2B. Always forward. Give a shout out to Robert and the team for supporting this podcast. Now back to the show.
Yes. So, Western corporations use LinkedIn as a key platform for branding and advertising by sharing through leadership content, company
Mm,
culture stories, and target ad campaigns aiming the professionals. So in Japan, LinkedIn is less as a mass professional network and more a specific tool for a professional with international and global orientation, B2B through leadership, branding, content sharing, and targeted sourcing outbound for niche talent. So it's more like a top of funnel brand
gotcha.
building, relationship planting that okay, immediate conversion, mass recruiting for many Japanese firms. So it works a little bit different.
Mm.
Um,
So yeah, it's more about the awareness stage, right?
exactly.
Yeah, I think so I guess yeah, you mentioned I think like the you can do also do like sponsored posts, you can do video ads. Uh
Yes. Depends, of course, depends on what the client wants. In our case, we when we know the client goal, the objective, we can suggest first the platform, then we can suggest what kind of ads we should provide. If this is a campaign for awareness, we need to create, let's say, single ads, going to a dedicated landing page with all the best practices of a landing page. But if the client wants a like an awareness campaign, but with like just focus on informational, we can create a lead gen campaign with a specific case studies that has to be downloaded by the users. When they
gotcha, yeah.
download, the client receive the lead information. That information goes to a pool that is connected with the CRM, and then
Gotcha.
we can move on
Oh, very cool.
different kind of content.
Nice. So you can kind of get them in the top, yeah, you get them the top of the funnel and you get them into your CRM. That's very
Correct,
cool.
correct. Because you see, nowadays, the sales processes take so much time that years ago. The reason is simple. The user, the client, the final user, it has more things to analyze. It's like they are analyzing your content, but in the next sheet is checking your competitor, and then it's going to ChatGPT and it's going to ask a question about you and your competitor, and then it will take time to close those deals. That's why we need like multi-funnel and multi-channel
Mm.
campaigns. LinkedIn is one of the steps, but sometimes we need more platforms, more content, more tools to integrate to LinkedIn to generate these leads.
Oh, very cool. Uh, what are some of the tools that you're using?
Okay, so for I use for many different things, right? For example, when we need to create account-based marketing campaigns that are just targeting specific accounts, the client says, "I want this, and this company C-level executives." Okay, perfect. We need to use specific software like let's say Six Sense, uh, demand base, those software that are like they have all the information about the accounts,
Ooh,
and
gotcha.
also you can integrate with LinkedIn. They have like a third-party connectors, so it's really simple to do that. Let's say that the client also use a content platform like Adobe Experience Manager. So Adobe Experience Manager is a robust platform that you can create your audience. You can generate those leads that you want to, sorry, those contacts that you want to reach and then connect them to LinkedIn via another third-party integration. So at the end of the day, you use like Adobe, 6sense, you use Marketo for
Yeah.
content as well, or you can use, if you work on sales, you can use Apollo and LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It's a perfect combination. Why? Because Apollo includes thousands of accounts that connects with Bombora and other like third-party
Gotcha.
email companies. But once you have all those platforms connected to your LinkedIn advertisement campaign, you have infinite possibilities to generate leads. Of course, that is not something easy because these platforms are not cheap. And also, you need to follow different steps. You cannot go to market immediately. You need to have an idea of what you want to present. You're not going to reach the CEO of like a pharmaceutical company from one day to another. You need different steps to take, and then you can reach that guy. But it's possible. And nowadays, with the tools we have, it's easier than before.
And for the listeners, we're talking about account-based marketing. And actually, we did an episode with the CEO of AIM B2B, Robert Helt, and we talked about account-based marketing and how it differs from standard marketing. But I think you've heard from Ignacio, like now I get a pretty clear picture of a better picture of how you guys implement it. And with account-based marketing, usually it's rather than you targeting a large mass audience, you have a list of maybe 5 to 10 companies. uh, I think you can't really target too many companies, right, Ignacio? Because you go really, but
Well,
I think,
you can, yes, you can. But the thing is that um, it depends, right? Because you target a lot of companies, then let's say C-level executives, but you are going to increase the budget that you want
gotcha,
to
yeah.
spend. So sometimes it's better to focus just in industry, like account-based marketing, just for like pharmaceutical. You just focus
Mm,
in a country or in a like a continent, just for pharmaceutical, showing pharmaceutical content, than like mixing manufacturing, pharmaceutical, cybersecurity, etc., because it's going to expand. And
I gotcha. That makes sense. Because yeah, you're diving really deep into that one industry and a certain type of person.
yes, yes, yes. Because it takes many steps, right? So you show content, then the people that engage, you show a second piece of content, then you integrate Apollo and you create sequences, like 5 to 10 sequences, and then you are closer to close those deals, right? Because the interest is higher in that level.
Yeah, I mean it's important because I mean you're trying to get someone who is maybe the CEO or a high level executive in a global company in Japan to know who you are, understand who you are, maybe trust you a little, or let's say be interested a little bit in you, and how do you actually get their attention? And
Yes.
so it's interesting that you're connecting all these different softwares and using LinkedIn as well to reach that audience.
The process could take, I don't know, between 4 to 6 months,
Oh,
but definitely you, if you like follow the steps, and one important thing is that you have to have everyone in the same line, right? Sales, product, marketing, everyone has to be in the same boat. It's not that you are going to present something that says it's asking, no, these leads are incorrect. We were not thinking about these leads. No, because the leads are like really simple to connect between marketing and sales in this case, because you are in the same page, especially on ABM, account-based marketing, sales and marketing works as one team.
yeah, it sounds kind of like sniping a very high level target.
Yes,
You
yes,
go across the world to this specific country to get this specific person, and like,
yes,
and it's not just one person doing it, it's everybody working together and you have alignment.
yes, exactly.
Oh, cool. I didn't know it took I didn't know that, let's say, 4 to 6 months is kind of like the timeline that you operate with. But it makes sense that let's say it's kind of like slow repeated exposure.
Yes, because remember that this CEOs and these decision makers, they don't have so much time to read a downloadable PDF that they download from LinkedIn, right? They download that, and during the weekend they will check that. If they have time, they will do that. And then you need to continue showing interest and showing more things that can convince them to have this like discovery call.
Gotcha.
So that will take time.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, they have to remember. They actually remember. In your thoughts, like, how much times, I mean, of course it depends on, let's say, their need for your product or service, but I guess without knowing that information, like what is kind of your general rule of how many times you want to a CEO to be exposed to your brand?
Okay. um well, depends. I can talk about one specific strategy years ago, uh that we were targeting a CEO from a newspaper in France, important newspaper. And of course, we started showing content about localization, how localization was working with AI at the beginning of AI a few years ago. And of course, we focus France. Then we focus the decision makers from different newspapers, not just one.
Mm.
And we include remarketing campaigns. We include three different pieces of content. And after we release the first piece of content, we start to see like traffic in our CRM. We start seeing traffic from this newspaper that we went targeting. So
Very
we
cool.
saw the traffic, and we saw the LinkedIn profiles, and they were not the CEO, but they were directors in
Mm.
So we start to send more pieces of content, but personalized, introducing the company via LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And from this amount of like decision makers, we had a connection with the CEO, and we set up a meeting with him. And then after a few months, the deal was done. So it took 4 months to do that, but the reward was really high. So sometimes you need to understand, like, okay, I'm targeting a newspaper, like one of the most important newspaper in France, to offer this service. So if we win this opportunity, it will it will be more than amazing, because the whole time that you spent is worth it.
Gotcha. Cool. Then I'll say, I guess my next question would be, what areas of LinkedIn does it excel in regards for branding and advertising? I'll say maybe more specifically advertising.
Okay, so LinkedIn really excels in high quality targeting. There's no other platform that can reach a specific like audience as LinkedIn. You can target the CEO of like Fujitsu if you want, because you have the company, and also you have the job titles. You cannot do that in other platforms because, for example, on Meta, those companies doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's just few companies, but not that one, not in Japan, not that title. So the high quality targeting is one of the most important thing when you create an advertisement platform. Before we were talking that before you run and you launch an ad campaign, you need to take 1, 2, 3 meetings to decide the target audience, because that is the most important thing. Of course, the content. But if you go to market just to show that you're a brand and that you want to increase in impressions, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you will have meetings with the client saying, okay, this week we had 1 million impressions, 3,000 clicks. Fine. But the target or the people that engaged maybe were not the people that the
Mm,
client wants. So even if the audience decreased, you need to focus in the like high level audience, and LinkedIn helps you on that. And
gotcha.
also if you include all these third party connectors, that will be so much better. The thing here in Japan is that LinkedIn still has a smaller user base compared to Western markets. So for branding, it doesn't perform as well as for mass awareness, for broader scale campaigns. So engagement levels are improving, but they are still lower than local companies, right? Like let's say BizRead, Wantedly, that those companies, they have advertisement everywhere, and every Japanese know about those brands. So it's like you are competing with local brands that at the same time they have more like visibility than you. So
Mm,
sometimes you need to adapt based on the size of your audience.
cool. No, yeah, it makes perfect sense. That would say LinkedIn is much better for really quality over quantity.
Exactly.
And I've not advertised on LinkedIn personally, but I've heard that it costs more, like, per impression
Yes,
than
yes.
Meta. Is that true?
Yes, it's true. It's true, and it makes sense. As I was explaining before, the high targeting, it's one of the most important thing. And LinkedIn is like, okay, I can give you impressions in front of the CEO of this pharmaceutical company. Other companies cannot do that. So my CPC, my CPM will be higher than others. And it makes sense. Sometimes clicks on LinkedIn are like 500 yen for a click, while you go to Meta and for the amount of impressions is 30, 40. So,
Yeah,
but the targeting is different,
yeah,
right? It depends. If it's B2C, well, you can go to Meta and do your business, go into Line and do your business. But if you're targeting B2B, you know that LinkedIn is the place that you have those guys, that audience, that specific audience that you want to reach. That's why it's more expensive.
very, very cool. And yeah, it makes perfect sense. And I agree. Yeah, on Meta, you can get 30 yen per click, 40 yen per click, but or like sometimes 1 yen per impression. But I think LinkedIn, I heard it was like five, or maybe it's probably more now.
Yes, yes, it's more.
Gotcha. So I guess yeah, or it was five, maybe like 4 or 5, maybe 4 years ago. So it makes sense that it's going up as more people are utilizing it, and the bidding price is going up.
Yes, and if you know about these integrations that I was talking, like HubSpot, Salesforce Market or Apollo, etc. Most of these integration, the first thing that they integrate is with LinkedIn. You don't see like, we have an Apollo connector for Meta. It's more like, okay, let's focus first on LinkedIn, because that is the place that these decision makers exist. Then we can go to other platforms, but this is the main platform
Gotcha.
executives.
And I think you told me like you had some pretty good success with one cybersecurity company where
Yes,
you're using like I think LinkedIn. I think you mentioned like LinkedIn generation forms.
yes,
But
yes, yes,
could you tell us about that?
yes, of course. So in this case, it's more that when we started the strategy, we focused on different channels, right?
Mm.
And it's a cybersecurity company that globally it's really famous, but as all the clients, when they come to Japan, they don't have a presence. They doesn't exist compared to other local companies. So it doesn't matter if you're really good in other markets. You need to adapt. You need to localize to the Japanese market. And one thing that we did was based on the amount of content that we have from this company, we created different campaigns based on awareness and engagement and then in conversions. So we started with Google, Meta platforms, but as a top of funnel. Then the middle funnel, those guys that start to take decisions,
Ah,
they were in LinkedIn. So
interesting.
lead gen campaigns, single ad campaigns, video campaigns, because nowadays video works really good. For a cybersecurity company, there's nothing better than showing how your
Interesting.
a platform works for a company that needs this service. You saw what happened with this beer company a few weeks ago that ransomware attack
Ah,
arrives,
yes. Yeah.
destroyed everything. So once we start working the lead gen campaigns on LinkedIn, we connect with that something that is called TAL. It's a target account list. So
Gotcha.
this is the list of accounts that the company wants to target. They don't want to go to other companies. They want to target these accounts. So we integrate their CRM, documentation, platforms, like sales platforms, with the lead gen campaign, the LinkedIn lead gen campaign. So what it did that is that in the CRM, we start to see which people start to engage with our content. That gave the sales team a way to introduce
Mm.
their service, to send a demo, like, okay, do you have time for next week to check our platform? We can send you the demo today, and we can book a meeting during the next weeks. So those things helped a lot. And one important thing that this company did is that they didn't skip the awareness phase. When a company comes to Japan, Western companies, they come and they want leads like immediately. They are like, okay, I want 300. The KPI is 300 leads, as we have in Singapore or in France. Fine, but the thing is that you need a phase here that is the awareness. That is that you need to show what your company is. The Japanese people, they are not going to invest in your product if they don't know it. Just because you have an like a not an aggressive, but a really direct way to show your ads in other markets doesn't mean that it's going to work in Japan. So you need to localize. So this company with us during our meetings, we discussed a lot about these things that at the beginning could be a frustration for many companies. Like, okay, we are really slow on these things, but you don't have you shouldn't skip that awareness phase,
Mm.
because without that, most of the companies that skip that, they fail.
Makes we're kind of going through that experience with AI market. So at Smart Start Japan, like we get tons of inquiries. The landing page, I mean we have testimonials, but with Smart Start Japan, it's more focused on like these are the services, these are the problems we can solve for you. We have experience solving it. But with AI market, which is more Japanese market focused, we're really going into we're already being used by Japanese people. It's really focusing more on the trust
Exactly.
than the actual problem and product we solve. So Smart Start Japan is just here's the problem. If you go to other companies, you're taking a big risk, you should start smart and we can solve your problem. But with AI market, there's no risk. You get 1 month guarantee. This software, it works pretty good. here's the company in Japan that's using it right now, and here's the team. Like it's, let's say we have two Japanese guys. We put their name in kanji rather than hiragana or like
Yeah, and even small details for localization are like really important. For
yeah,
example,
dive into it.
when the client needs to promote a specific product, we need to create a dedicated landing page, right? So the landing page, they have like best practices, right? The header exclude all the external links, so the user feels like trapped that they cannot go to see other sections. It's just a landing page, like a converted landing page. Then, if you are promoting a cybersecurity platform, one important thing: show what the platform is about. Show your competitive advantages. The logos that you're gonna use, you don't have to use logos from like, we closed the deal with the biggest bank in America. Japanese people
Yeah,
don't
who
care about that.
cares?
You need to add local logos because trust is everything here in Japan. And if I have an argument with the client, a good argument, but saying, yeah, I understand that this is the biggest bank in America and you close a deal with $1 million. We don't need that logo now. We prefer this brand that is a bank in Japan. But it's a small bank. It doesn't matter. It's a
Doesn't
bank.
matter.
The
I think the
people see that as a trust.
and the power of just even having kabushiki gaisha
Yeah, correct.
rather than some big name.
Exactly. So, and then, testimonials. The landing page works really good with testimonials. Someone like head of, I don't know, head of operations from Deutsche Bank saying that the product is great. Perfect. I need Japanese faces here. Those things sometimes is really difficult to convince a foreigner, a foreign company, because
Yes.
sometimes it's like, why? Because
Like,
this works like this.
yeah, it's like, does this product work for Japan? If all the users are foreign, like, does it actually work? So
Exactly.
sometimes it can serve as a negative in a way.
And when you do those small changes, you start seeing, because this is something that happened, you start seeing in Adobe Analytics, in GA4, you start seeing that the engagement, the time on page increased. So
Mhm.
it's like,
Interesting.
oh, why this increased? Increased because you did this, and this. There are simple things. But if you don't think about that before, you will coming with your strategy from other countries. That works really fine. In Germany, is the same that in America. You can have like a global bank, and it's fine. It engage. But here is different. You have your actors here. You have your companies here. So use them. Generate trust first.
Yes, I was thinking we could finish off this episode with you kind of telling us one of your success cases with LinkedIn advertising and just, yeah, kind of guiding us through the process. But yeah, and I think you mentioned one with helping enterprise level tech buyers and helping your client with lead generation. So I'd love to hear more about that.
Okay, yes, it's basically some of the things that I was sharing before. One of my key success was the lead generation campaign targeting enterprise tech buyers. That one important thing that we did is that we combined LinkedIn target accounts with tailored content by industry and role, and we achieved strong conversion rates and lower CPL. That is important because, as we discussed before, LinkedIn is not cheap. So if you can reduce the CPL, the cost per lead, that is amazing. So one thing that we did was that we built a multi-step funnel awareness at first, that continue with retargeting, with remarketing, just for the engagement users, showing case studies and gate content. So once we had those users that engaged, we connect them to our CRM, with our CRM and client CRM. And what we did was we integrate LinkedIn Sales Navigator and other platform like Apollo, and we start to personalize the content. Like one thing that we use is Trend Demon, and Trend Demon, it's like a software platform that transform the content based on the user. Let's say that today, Tyson, you come to our website, and in your industry, let's say that is B2B software as a service. So our website, it will show you just content about B2B software as a service, because we adapt to you. This is what happened with this campaign. We use Trend Demon, this important software. So when users arrive to the website, the website automatically transformed and show the content that they want to see. So these things, all this combination of things is generate like a personalized message to the user, and with like sequences that we use, like 5-step sequences. The amount of meetings, like discovery calls, increased a lot. So we achieved higher objectives that we had at the beginning. So the goal was pipeline growth and qualified leads, and we structured it in 3 different stages: awareness, engagement, and conversions. And the result were 4 times higher CTR, 40% lower cost per leads, and we increased the amount of leads that we target as a KPI at the beginning of the campaign. So this is one of the most successful campaigns we had, but demanded many things. Demanded first that the client should have those resources, right? Like having all these like connectors to create a multi-funnel campaign. And also the importance of the localization. We localize all the copy. We adapted the tone, like from another tone that we had, the global ads. We adapted into the Japanese, the visual, more like focusing on local business culture. And we've been really successful for doing that. So that is the best way that we can generate success in campaigns, like having meeting with the client, explaining the strategy, explaining the plan, like engaging with the storytelling, and then connect all the pieces, right? Connect all the pieces, and when we start to see engagement, we like boost that part to start to generate these leads and discovery calls.
When we were discussing about this episode, you mentioned something really interesting in the conversion rates in Japanese language versus English to the Japanese market, even to people who speak English that are
Yes.
Japanese. But could you tell us more about your insights there?
Yes. For other clients, we do testing A/B, right? For many clients, we do testing A/B. This is targeting bilingual executives, so we create ads in Japanese and in English. Like ads in Japanese constantly outperform English versions, usually by 2 times, double. So in engagement, in CTR, and even bilingual professionals here in Japan, they engage more with content that feels native. So definitely one of the most important part of like a localized campaign is the tone of the ads. What you're going to say and how you're going to say it. Because you know that if you use this tone, polite, indirect, and trustworthy, you will generate more engagement.
Interesting. Could you give an example of maybe indirect?
Yes. One of the campaigns that we were running was for university. University wanted an MBA. They want to promote an MBA, and this is a real good case study about things that were good, but also that were not so good in a way. So let's see about this. It's an MBA, promoting an MBA from a prestigious global university, and we started with a testing A/B, ads in Japanese, ad in English, different platforms, LinkedIn and Meta. We start to see the higher engagement in Japanese in LinkedIn. So we start to generate a lot of leads for this client. But what happened? The leads arrive because one thing is that once the client receives a lead, doesn't mean that it's going to be in the MBA. It's a lead that is requiring information about this MBA. So that's an important thing that this client
Yeah, the
still
nuance,
in a
right?
way that the client received 70 leads a week that everybody wants to go to the MBA. So it was amazing. But the thing was the follow-up. The follow-up for the Japanese people should be immediately. And this was a global company. So let's say that the leads arrive, and with the time zone, it was 10 hours difference. And the follow-up was an automatic email in English. No one pick up the phone to say, hey, this is the proposal. Have you seen this about the MBA? Are you still interested? I will send you a link to have a meeting. So the follow-up was really poor.
Yeah.
That means that as a company, we generate the leads, but you need from our side also as a partner, we highlight this, that it's not the last stage that you receive the leads and everything is fine. You need to close those leads. So in the Japanese, it worked really good, and we convinced them with the landing page, the message, everything. But at the end, the reduction
Yeah.
of or the decrease on leads was because of the follow-up. So sometimes you need to adapt everything. Also, your sales team needs to have a dedicated person to do the follow-up in the Japanese market. No matter if it's a freelancer or something, you are doing a strategy that needs different steps. So that was another thing. Good part, bad part.
Yeah, it's how you deal with the leads as well.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
that's
thing,
so
right?
sad to hear. That's like, you guys, you got so many leads, but multi-nai is a good word.
Like,
Multi-nai.
mm.
And yeah, I think over the course of our conversation today, we talked a lot about different tools that you're using, like Marketo, Engage, Adobe Experience Manager, Sixth Sense, Demand Base. I think you also mentioned Trendemon and
Trend yes, Trend is great. Trend
gotcha.
we are partnered with Trend, and we use it in our sites and in our client sites. And it's really, uh, I mean, Trend works in a way that you can adapt the content based on the user, but at the same time, you can create events, let's say like Google Tag Manager events, similar, like
Ah,
you are scrolling one article, let's say about GEO or SEO, and you
gotcha.
scroll, and at the end of the article, it pop-ups another article about the same content.
Gotcha.
Once you create that order, so
Very
the
cool.
user is like, click again, and continue in your site. So
Gotcha. Oh, that's
after
very
this
cool.
third, yeah, after the third, you pop up, you show a pop up with webinar geo that we are going to do during this month, but you pop up that, and the user is like, okay, I'm really interested in geo now. I will register to this webinar. So
No,
those
that's
things are really good with trend demand.
no, that's really cool that it could get that personalized.
Exactly.
Wow.
Personalization is everything right now.
So I know that you're doing an event on generative engine optimization this month. We're interviewing one of your colleagues, Sam Bird, and I think his episode will come out before this episode, actually. But could you please tell us about the event?
For sure. Yes. We are doing a webinar during Thursday, November 27 at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. It will be 1 hour webinar, Japanese Standard Time. So we will do it with Sam Bird. He is the COO of the company, and we've been doing different GEO. GEO is Generative Engine Optimization, is how to appear on the large language models platforms like ChatGPT. Nowadays, people go to ChatGPT to ask anything before going to Google. So we are going to give the best practices, explaining about how to have that authority search in these platforms, and we are going to explain how to structure geo content, how to use schema markup, all those technical things that you need to know to appear there, right? How this adapts to the Japanese market, because it's not the same that the American market. Reddit is a big player in geo in the American market. Here, the presence of Reddit is low.
Mm.
You need different actors. You need to adapt. The importance of the PR nowadays in the Japanese market is higher than ever, because one important thing about geo is that you need to generate trust, not just to the people, also to the robots. And it's crazy that you need to generate trust to a robot, but it's how it works. Authoritative links, citations. You need to have a lot of things in your website. And we are going to walk through all this with Sam. So we invite everyone that wants to know how to appear on ChatGPT or those places to register in the webinar. We will be sharing the link, and also because this is not the future. This is the present, and
Mm.
every single day there's an update about ChatGPT integrating e-commerce. So in the next months, you will buy things by ChatGPT, and they have an agreement with Shopify. So it's a matter of time that things will switch to have more presence here. So definitely a good time to have this webinar.
Cool. Thank you very much. And it was very good having you, Ignacio.
Thank you so
And
much for the
look
invitation.
forward to talking to you about Line next.
Yes, yes.